Okay, well, good morning or afternoon. Now, let me preface this video by saying that I bought every history curricula that I could find because we love history in our house. Now, before I get into that, I'm going to talk about all the different history curriculums available. Let me show you, I'm going to do a product of the day. It's a new thing I'm going to do for every video. It takes about 30 seconds. Today's video, or today's product, is the readers from Real Science for Kids. That's Real Science for Kids. This is the atoms. Take a look at the atoms. Is the moon made of green cheese? Are the clouds made of cotton candy? Are frogs made of green slime? No, everything's made of atoms. So atoms can link together to make frogs and clouds and blah, blah, blah. So my name is nitrogen. My name is oxygen. My name is phosphorus. An atom doesn't really have arms and hands. We're just drawing them so that you can see how atoms work. So I have 3 linking electrons. I am nitrogen. I have 1 linking electron. See, so it explains how atoms link together. I love their whole line. Their science program is my favorite science curriculum. I'll attach the video at the end if you feel like watching it. Now, let's talk about history. First of all, for history, there's so many books here for this topic. I think you need this one. This is like your teacher's manual. It's like your teacher's manual in the sense that it goes through every time period, so you can just look up a time period throughout history and decide, okay, I'm going to talk about like the first humans, for example. Now, it doesn't get into the Big Bang, but you can either, if you want to get into the Big Bang, there's a couple different books you can get. I'm not going to talk about that here. But if you don't want to, this is the book for you. You can't get the new one. The new one is white. You get it at the libraries. It's not very good. They do have the old ones at the libraries too. So try and find the red Kingfisher one. All right. That to me, you don't even need any other history curriculum. You could just teach from that in the sense that you look up the time period and are like, okay, let me research some books that are on the topic. Now, these are some other interesting books. A Street Through Time, which is not bad. It's pretty interesting, and you can still get it at the library. It just does a street throughout time, and it's got little things you can look for in there. Okay, so I'm not gonna take all your time. This is new. This I don't think you'll find at the libraries yet. I don't know how quick libraries get books. But this is new. This is the Kingfisher World History Atlas. So it's got ancient China, ancient Africa, the Roman Empire. So it's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't know if I would specifically get it. Now there's also When We Became Humans. So these are just a couple books. The Upright Human, the first human, her name was Lucy, I learned from this book. Now the thing is, when teaching any topic, when you teach the timeline, when you're teaching history, you're teaching about science, you're teaching about geology, you're teaching about religions and social studies. You're teaching everything when you go through the timeline. So it's an amazing way to cover a lot of topics school-wise, and just in not that much time. If you do and you sit down and you did it every day, maybe you cover a couple books every day. Here's another one that a lot of big curriculums use when discussing histories. It's the When on Earth. I'll give you a preview in it. It's also interesting as well. But again, it's just one of those things, it's like they call it a spine, right? So you would look at it again and again and again. So the first cities, I like the Viking ones. The Viking ones, because it had their path in it, I found was pretty interesting. Anytime it has what happened here and their paths and their arrows, I find it pretty interesting. Again, you can get it at the library, so check it out first. And a lot of people love it and consider it, like one of the necessary staples of a good history library, I guess. I don't really. A Child Through Time I like. It's interesting, but at the same time, if your children are old enough to recognize that, it's again a spine, a flip through, right? So let me give you just a little snapshot in this. So Bernhard, so the knight squire in medieval Europe. So his life would have been like in medieval Europe. So I think it's and Takeshi. So I think it's very interesting. And another spine, if you will. So like you pull it out and be like, okay, let's talk about, I don't know, Takahamen. Let's talk about Takahamen. Here's the pages on Takahamen and things like that. And then you can open up this book. here's the pages on Takahama. And the problem is if you have kids that are inquisitive, then they keep flipping through, and to me, we're getting off topic. Still not bad, right? Like, that's okay. But my mind is like, let's stay on topic. I don't say that, but that's just the way my mind works. So I bought every history curriculum. I buy every curriculum I can get my hands on a lot of times, if it's depending on how much money we have and if it's like free or cheap or whatever. But these, so I did for history. I buy them secular or Christian, doesn't matter. So this is the Star Spangled Banner. This is one of my top curriculums for teaching. It starts as soon as you arrive at America. So now, okay, I know we're getting into this. Hold on, there's just a couple more books I wanted to go through. Just a couple more before we get to the curriculums. So this is Adventures with the Good Times Travel Agency. These books are hard to come by. Even at the library, they're kind of hard to come by. But it's like graphic novels. So they're kind of interesting as far as that goes. All right, so these are some of my favorite, how the Sphinx got to the museum, because it explains how it got from the desert. The archaeologists dug it up because it was dumped there by the stepson, marveled at by the Egyptian priests, chiseled by the sculptor, and ordered by the pharaoh. Okay, so it goes all the way through time and explains how exactly it gets to the museum. So I think that's a great book. It's one of my favorite books. The First Drawing, I think it's fantastic for just how the first drawing came about. It's a great book. Again, the library, a lot of people love this book here. I don't particularly care for it because, I just don't, but maybe it's because, I don't know. It's just anything that's got a lot of text. I know that sounds ridiculous. But these are these are amazing artifacts, and you get to read about these artifacts from that time period. So from that time period, like ancient Japan, you're like, here's 19, bronze Buddha. So it's got just a lot of amazing artifacts from different time periods. So if you can't get to the museum, perhaps this is a book you may want to invest in. I haven't found it at the library. Just a heads up. All right, now let's get into curriculum options. So first of all, if you are, oh no, I got one more set. One more set is the best deal. It is the Usborne History Beginners. The Usborne Beginners is the best deal because they're $35. And this one covers the Iron Age, the Romans, the Celts. I mean, really everything. And look inside here. So when we open it, and yeah, my tables are clean. They just don't look clean, but I swear to you they are. Meet the Tribe. So the village people. So see how it's got pictures and inside, you can see inside things. That's great. As far as history goes too, we, due to my husband's job, are currently in Europe. And in Europe, they have a ton of abandoned castles and other castles as well. So we've gone to several different countries and several different castles. So if you go to Finn and Lock on YouTube and then the castle playlist, you'll be able to see real tours, and they only take 5 minutes, 7 minutes. We run through a castle. You get to see old abandoned castles. And I used to put facts on there about the castles, but no one really watched anyway, so I stopped doing that. But anyway, so if you want to look into some real castles, maybe that will go with your medieval section. Now let's get into curriculum. So I have quite a bit of curriculum here. I bought all different types, from these books online that you can get, the history pockets that you can get on Amazon, by Evan Moore, to the Star Spangled Banner, which is one of my favorites. This is like for landing in America. It starts as soon as people land in America. Now, this, for people who are secular, I have it just because I buy both secular and Christian curriculums. As far as just they have a welcome here that discusses Christianity, like just a welcome. But other than that, I mean, it sticks to just the history of the country. So I haven't found anything that, say if you're secular, to stop you from buying this. I would consider it anyway. But that's why sometimes I try to encourage people, whether you're Christian or secular, to consider good curriculums that may not fall into your scope if you can adjust it to your values, okay? So why don't I show you, let me show you in a couple pictures. Gosh, it's just so beautiful. And the price, $89 for this whole, it comes with 2 parts. Oh my gosh, the pictures alone, I just think are spectacular. Let's get to some of these pictures. Oh, I hear someone coming downstairs. The first people come to America, okay? Did they come by land? So it's just a great way. The Vikings set sail. So it's just, I think it's just a great way to discuss America and how people got there and what's going on there and how that happened, and a lot of stuff on there. Let's talk about Hideaway History Guide. It's pretty expensive. I mean, it's really intense. So for little kids, I think it's too intense. That's just my personal opinion. It does come with a whole section of Psalms in there. If you want to take a look, these are different Psalms to do. So it is, I mean, it's a full curriculum you're getting. You're not getting, I mean, it's a full curriculum. Okay, so it's Hiding God's Word in My Heart comes with that. Now, what I like about this, to be honest, I would never buy it again, but let me show you the reason I bought it and what I like about it. It's holed up in a homemade hideaway. So if money is no object, this is very cool because it's like, okay, this week we're gonna talk about Egyptian pyramids and we're gonna make pyramids. This week we're gonna talk about the Great Wall of China and we're gonna make a Great Wall of China. This week we're gonna talk about Arctic igloos. All right, this week we're gonna talk about Greek Trojan horses. This week a gladiator arena. Okay, so this I love. I think it's brilliant. I think it's amazing. I wish you could just buy this little section for, I don't know, I think if they sold it for $29, I think that would be the PDF printable. I think that would be fair. Now I paid for the printing. This is what it looks like, the printed version, like the hard copy version. This is what it looks like. Okay, so this is another part of the program. It's the On-the-Spot History Fun, right? That's what it's called. And again, it's very cool because this time it's like art. Let's draw some cave art, okay? So it's more activities. You know, ancient letters. I don't even know how to say that, so I'm not gonna pretend. Cuneiform? I don't know. Some of my pronunciation sometimes, it's a little sketchy. Play a great gladiator game. All right, I have 3 boys. I don't know about that one, but it'd be a big hit. Roman milestone advertising. So this book also, I wish we could buy it separately because I definitely would pay for that as well. Now these are their program, all right? So they deal with the era of information, the age of empires, the medieval times, ancient history, all right? So they cover, you know, a lot of time periods here. Let's just take one for example. We'll go into the Let's Hide Away Ancient History. So the Israelites. See, so it's a lot of text for little kids and not a lot of pictures. So you could do it as a read aloud though, and let them do something else while they're listening to it. I just like them just to look at the pictures while I'm doing it, so that makes it a little problematic for me. But basically you follow these 2 characters and they go through history. So, now, if you are secular, I will put on the screen a great secular, it's a novel that you are actually, you're transported as a child to those various time periods, and it's exactly how living there would be, but it is definitely secular. Like it's not like, ooh, just avoid this or skip that. Oh no, it's very secular. Okay, so if that's not your thing, an alternative to that is The Story of Our World, which I have, but I haven't read. So I haven't had a chance to read it yet, so I can't pretend that it's like, it's just a novel. Again, it would be a good read aloud, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Additionally, another thing that I really like is the song that they use for that. It's a Christian program, but the song, it's a great song. It's got 3 parts to it. You can get it on Amazon, Apple Music, and it basically covers the time period of the world, right? And it's the timeline. It's called the Timeline Song, I believe. And I'm telling you, it's a great song. Oh, it's a great song. But you can get it on it's an Apple product. So I'll put the information on the screen. It's from this big Christian program that a lot of people like that has to do with community. I can't remember what it's called now. But I bought that as well because there was not a history program that went untouched by my purchasing hands. So I would say my favorite now, I would say that you do not need a history curriculum, that you can just buy or track down the Kingfisher book and follow it. And hey, we're going to talk about the Ice Age and then plan out some books to get for the Ice Age and read through it like that and go from there. I would recommend the Star Spangled Banner story. I don't think you'll regret it, whether you're secular or Christian. If you are secular and your kids love to read or they're at the age with reading, there is not an audiobook for it yet, last time I checked, but it was the History Quest. That's what it is. The History Quest read aloud. I think it's great. You could also do, secular is the Magic Tree House goes to different places as well if you wanted to do those books as well. Okay, and I would get, if money's no object, you can get the Hold Up in a Hideaway. It's like, I want to say it's $300 for this set here, the Hold Up in the Hideaway. So if you want to, and money's no object, go grab it. Read through it. But again, if it is, maybe say pass. All right, so I've given you a ton of history options. I'm going to attach a video at the end where I go through, I don't know how many history programs, but I thought I covered them all here. But I'm going to attach that video at the end if you want further in-depth analysis and flip through of those, okay? All right, have a great day.